Hello everybody, welcome back to Chronicles of the Chronicler Lost World, and this is the fourth episode we're in now with the commentaries, episode 4, The Ruin. This was a sequence that was added in last second to incorporate outside, and I really think it was really cool because this was filmed right off the deck of the lake house I was staying at. There's this stair that just went to nowhere. It was overgrown and mossy. I thought this was perfect because I did kind of want to have Pohatu looking down on Liwa, who was begging, looking up to Pohatu. And fail transition there. That was not the transition it was supposed to have.
There's no sign of Tahu.
Maybe he didn't go this way at all.
I don't know where else he would have gone, though. This doesn't make sense.
I did want Takoro to be really dark in this sequence because, I mean, it's more dramatic, obviously. I'm sorry you can't really see them that well, but still.
It's heading towards the city.
Just to clarify, Tahu says it's heading towards the city. Someone told me once that it sounds like he's saying it's heading towards the sea. I'm sorry about that. The audio clip when Frank was recording the voice, there was like some sort of feedback in the background of the shot. In the background of the audio. So I used a kind of audio cleanup technique, but it kind of eliminated the T part of the city. And the line, "I'll bet widgets on it," that took Frank so many tries to get that line. He kept saying wedges, widgets, and all sorts of other things. It's in the blooper reel.
What is it? That's what I was.
This sequence was longer in the script too because Tahu was supposed to fight the Rakshi in the actual ruins, but it got cut before it was filmed. But then it was added back in, and I'll explain it when we get to that part.
Could one of the other Toa gotten here before us?
Oh, and there was also this went on a little longer too with Jaller finding Takua's mask and thinking Takua is dead, but I thought it might just be a little more dramatic to end on a shot like that. And now we're getting into the scene I thought I would talk about before. And this was not shot with the intent of it being in the film. This was actually just literally just a test to see if the visual effects would work in the film. It went a lot better than anticipated, and I stuck it in the film just the way it was. This is another fail transition there because there was no transition. I don't know why the transition didn't work. It was there in the editing thing, and it just didn't render out. That's not an actual bird call. That's me doing a whistle. I can do the whistle now. Excuse me. And then adding some echo and make it sound more distant. Although, why did I add echo to make it sound more distant? Orcam's right there. That makes no sense.
Wait, what do you mean?
You're witnessing history here. I'm realizing a mistake just now. Carl also recorded a whistle too as a response, but unfortunately that didn't make it into the film. It was just like a... It didn't make it into the film. Pacing... Because Liwa was supposed to hear the call and then respond to it, but then I didn't have enough film to cover for it, so it got cut.
No, not again.
These were just filmed on a set of stairs that led down to the lake, which I thought was kind of cool to have Liwa and the Rakshi just tumbling down the stairs. This is my equivalence of Willem's scream coming up here. It's not... I mean, obviously it's not meant to sound like the Willem scream, but you got it. I really would love to use it like my Willem scream. That was the best. Because I had been trying to do screams, and that was like the 14th try, I think, because other one was just like or stuff like that. None of them were really good, and I had the same problem later on in the film when Jaller has to shout, and I had a hard time coming up with something that actually sounded remotely like it could fit the situation. and not sound like I was just going, "Argh."
The COTC3 will only destroy all the cities and villages. The more we
This
delay,
dialogue went on longer too, but again, I didn't have enough. I failed to shoot enough footage to incorporate entire lines of dialogue, so it had to be shortened. Speaking of shortened sequences, this one was also shortened, but again for Altair. The deleted part of this thing was basically a little bit more backstory as to who the Avmatoran were. It wasn't entirely necessary. All you really need to know is that the Avmatoran were special Matoran, and Takua is one of them. After thinking he was a Tamatoran for so many years, he is one of them.
You were never a Tamatoran. I was an Avmatoran? I was one of them? There had never been any Avmatoran Toa before Takua. That's the reason you were twice as powerful as your brothers. That's why you
This scene was actually... this was a reshot version of the scene, because there was another version of the scene shot in a completely different location, and I decided I didn't like it, so I reshot it again with the Shield of Toa Lekon.
This path leads nowhere, Golly.
You know Kopaka Onua.
I didn't spend a whole lot of time on this
You'll
sequence.
most likely be in the middle of nowhere.
You would have gone.
And this was another reason the fight between Gali and the Rakshian Gakuro got cut, is because essentially the same fight scene happens here.
But he doesn't know that.
And I figured this one would be... this one might have a little bit more impact on the story because it gives Kopaka, who hasn't really had a chance to shine yet, gives Kopaka more screen time. And also he does more. And establishes Kopaka's power.
I have been tracking him for 5 hours now. Kopaka.
Thanks, but that ice won't keep him for long.
No, it won't. That makes 2 of them then.
2 of them?
I go back to my village. Find it in ruin. Blue Rakshi is running about.
Carl does this accent so much better than I do. It's the same accent that
But there may
I do
be
for
more of these
Akmu,
creatures
but
out
Carl
there.
does it
We
so
must
much
find the
better
others and return to the
for
Great Temple.
Kopaka.
It's our best chance of defeating them and saving the lives of countless more
I knew he
villagers.
could because when he and I were doing Sam's Comics together, he would occasionally use that accent just off camera, and he does it really good. Anyway, again, we're out of time, and I'll see you next time for episode 5, The Stand.